Hi again, my name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today we're going to be doing another What Sold video. My sales have not come back since starting to promote again, so we're getting a little bit behind on videos. So I'm just going to be doing, this video is going to be for a whole week, which will be Monday through Sunday, February 16th through the 22nd. Yeah, I've got a lot of non-eBay sales, that's because that's new for me. And then I might even only have as many eBay sales as I had non-eBay sales. And that would probably be a first for me, but it's definitely paying off getting everything transferred in or cross-listed to these other platforms. Almost everything is going into Mercari and Poshmark. I think there's only been a few things that I'm choosing not to. One would be the pharmaceutical advertising stuff that I have. It automatically thinks that I'm trying to sell over-the-counter drugs, and it won't let me. I've stopped even trying. But for the most part, Poshmark, I'm still keeping everything under 5 pounds. Yeah, I think that's about it. But almost everything, I am almost to 5,000 listings on Mercari. So I just keep sitting and watching videos and just cross-list. That's what I've done all day today, is just cross-list.
She's way faster at cross-listing than I am. At least, maybe not way faster, but faster. I tend to, research a little more and go a little slower, but she has enough experience that she just sort of blows through it and has an idea anyway. And I'm like, I don't know. Let me look at this.
I have a very good recall on exactly where I need to be in the listing process, so I can just blow through those screens. So yeah, I'm so thrilled with this new management tool that we're using. I just love it.
She has a very good recall unless it's something important, like personally, like, hey, let's remember to get milk while we're at the store or something like that. Then that's just gone.
I remember today was our anniversary. Today is officially our 14th anniversary. We've been together 15 years.
Before we go on, we normally do a live every Monday at 9 a.m. on the other channel. But
the Rebel Pickers
channel, links down in the video description. But I have a checkup tomorrow with the doctor that I didn't think about when I scheduled that I actually put it on a Monday. So we're going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow morning. So we're going to move the live over to Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Yep. So if you haven't been and you can come and participate, it's just fun. We just sit and chat about whatever.
And ship sometimes.
But usually, sometimes we end up just chatting way more than shipping. So let me go ahead and share with you the things that I sold. I think I'm starting with Mercari, then Poshmark, then Etsy, and then eBay. I think, though, of all of our sales, Robert had the big sale. But I had some nice ones also. Yeah, and thank goodness for bulk buyers. I had somebody come in and buy, I want to say 18 items, which was amazing. So that really helped one day of sales for me, but otherwise it's still been pitiful. All right, let me go ahead and share.
So you're trying to tell me that promoting hasn't helped, and maybe we could just be getting all this money without the promoted listing fees?
I don't know. Probably not.
Because I have seen an uptick in impressions and views on my store. So I haven't looked at yours lately.
So on Mercari, I have 3 things to share for you. I think today I've sold 3 or 4 things on Mercari all by itself. It's just been crazy today. But all right, first thing was this BK glass snowman, sold for $8.50 on Mercari. And then this Gaffa Kentucky Wildcats plush, sold for $13. Y'all, this has been listed forever, so I'm finally glad that it has sold. And then this Mattel Happy Family Midge crib sold for $14.95. Now to Poshmark. Quite a few sales on Poshmark. I am loving that. First thing was this Animal Adventure Frosted Gray Rabbit and Elephant. I listed them together because they were like the same color. No rhyme or reason other than the same color. And they sold on Poshmark for $15. All right, Carole, red-haired doll with freckles, sold for $33 on Posh. Gund Spunky Blue Puppy Dog plush, sold for $15. All right, and then this was a viewer sale, so thank you so much, Dharma. Dharma sent me a bundle offer on 4 items for a total of $63, and she picked up this Dimdaco Let's Be Brave plush, Walmart Tan Dog plush, Russ Bum Bums plush lot, and a pair of jeans for a total of $63. So thank you so much. And then I sold this Kiwi Co. Rainbow Cloud pillow plush for $10. Gund Pusheen clip-on cat and basket lot, sold for $20. Blue's Clues plush. Oh, this has been listed forever. The newer Blue's Clues stuff just does not seem to sell very well. Even the vintage stuff has become a little bit harder unless it's like not blue. It's like some of the other characters. And Eden. There's a whole series out by Eden, and those do better, the vintage ones. But for the most part, this contemporary stuff I will not be picking up again. This one sold for $9. And then this vintage smile face plush from Rhode Island Novelty, sold for $13. And then Etsy. Quite a few on Etsy also. First was this Kenner Swamp Thing figure from 1990, sold for $19.95. I just picked this up at an estate sale where I paid 50 cents for this. It's sold very quickly. Kenner Baby Alive doll from 1990. This sold for $15. The thing about this also is I got an item not received case opened up on Etsy for this item, but it was showing delivered. And Etsy did protect me with their protections, and they ended up refunding the buyer for this package that, she said that she didn't get it even though it showed delivered. All right, this was a nice sale. Gund Max the monkey plush. He is the larger version, and he sold for $69.95. Dandy Hoppy Hopster rabbit plush. There was a time I sold these very often. They did so well for me, and I've probably got 5 of them that have sat for a long, long time. And then I one up in sales. This one sold on Etsy for $59.95. I need to remember to go in and get the rest of them cross-listed over there, and hopefully they'll sell also. And then this Giggle Bunny plush rabbit sold for $19.95. Just cross-listed this to Etsy, and it sold very quickly. This was a Perfection by MJC bear plush standing up on a snowboard from 1992. Sold immediately, $19.95. And then this Animal Adventure red fox plush from 2003 sold for $39.95. Now eBay. Sold a license plate. We had a bunch of these, and I'm down to, I want to say 5 or 6 left. Not a whole lot of these are left. This vintage plate from Tennessee sold for $17.95. Bluebird Polly Pocket figure from 1993. This was from the the Nashville bins when we went out there. I think that was the same weekend as the reseller meetup, but it could have been a different weekend. I don't remember. But this teeny tiny 1-inch figure sold for $8.06. And if you're new to my channel, I do charge shipping. So all of these are plus shipping. All right, Just Play Ice Age just listed it and it sold very quickly. This is Scrat, and he sold for $17.95. Now he was from the bins. Just a reminder, these were from the St. Louis bins, and I paid $2.09 a pound, just to kind of give you an idea of how much I paid for these items. All right, this is the big order. I think, yes, they bought 18 plush for a total of $151.75. The good thing is she's come back already and bought 4 more. The bad thing was Robert forgot to pack one of the items, so we ended up having to print 2 separate labels. So, still, $151 for 18 bears. I'll go through the list here.
If I had a good wife, she would have said, we forgot to pack one of the items, and not just pushed me out in front of the bus. Not under it, but just like in front of it so it could hit me and then go over me. So I would have the effect of both.
I have made my fair share of mistakes in this business. So it's nice. He did it. But obviously, I sent her a message, let her know, and she's already been back to buy 4 more. But this Pennington Bear, now a lot of these are my old plush that were listed for $9.95 on sale, and she was very reasonable in her offers. So yeah, I'm thrilled to get a whole bunch of bears gone. So we've got Pennington Bear, an Aurora Bear, Fiona Bear. Trying to see if they had a brand. Nope. A Gund Chubbs Bear. Another Aurora Bear, but this was with the Smithsonian Institute. A lot of these are $7 and $8. That's fine. Prestige Bear from 1988 was $11. The Petting Zoo Bear was $11. Jerry Elsner Bear, $10. A Gund Rabbit was $7.50. A Yellow Duck, couldn't figure out the tag, sold for $7. Hallmark Christmas Bear, $7.75. Carter's Bear, $8. Russ Barrington, $7.50. Dakin Duck, $7. Walmart Bear, $12. Little Lops Rabbit, $8. Petting Zoo, $8. And Animal Adventure, $7.75. They all fit in, what was the box size? It was one of the, 18-inch boxes from Walmart.
It was a large Walmart box, but I cut it down. And it ended up going UPS ground. She didn't let me pack them for the next time. Apparently, I wasn't qualified.
I needed to get a shipping estimate for her, so I just went ahead and boxed them and, was able to put in the dimensions and send her an invoice. All right, Fisher-Price Little People. Had a lot of paintwear. These were some of my ones that, I tried selling these on Whatnot. The condition, they just definitely had paint loss. And this set of 10 sold for $19.95. Carter's Lovey, $8.96. Monster High Roller Maze Frankie Stein sold for $13.45. Pound Puppies. This was a lot of 6 of them. These are the newer ones from Basic Fun. Probably not going to pick them up anymore. But, sometimes I make a mistake and don't check the tag. So they'll still be in my lots at some point. This 6 sold for $24.25. Still not bad. Probably got maybe $3 in it. Oh, that person also bought this vintage Tonka Pound Puppy from 1985 for $13.46. Eden Rattle Plush sold for $8.96. Lenox Butterfly Meadow Eastern Tailed Porcelain Coffee Cups sold $11.66. I think I had a set of 2 of these, and this is the last set. Hallmark Sweet Hugs Teddy Bear sold for $17.95. Build-A-Bear Shoe Lot. As I've been coming across these listings in doing the cross-listing, I'm actually taking all of my shoes down. I have a ton of Build-A-Bear clothes again. You know, I pick them up anytime I find them at the bins, and I think I'm going to start trying to make like little outfits. So I've been taking the listings down because I just think it'll sell better with an outfit with a shoe or a set of shoes, a pair of shoes. So that's been my idea, and I've taken down quite a few. I've got a pile over here. Eventually, I'm going to get to it. But these 3 pairs sold for $12.11. Sesame Street from Posh Paws sold for $17.95. Another set of Fisher-Price Little People. Again, lots of paint wear on these. Sold this set for $16.16. Manhattan Toy Dog Hand Puppet. I love that brand, but like this one, a lot of it sells for bread and butter. This was $8.96. Not as often as it used to be, but I still have stuff from my high bid estate sale that we won probably 4 years ago. These were a set of, I guess, Happy Meals came in this pencil case set. It was a lot of 3, sold for $12. Okie dokie, Blue Dog Lovey sold for $17.95. This was nice. I think I picked these up at my favorite little estate sale company. Probably paid $1 or so each for them. These are Silver City Ruby Red vase set with the sterling overlay, and the 3 of them sold for $53.96. Cuddle-Wit, I love that brand. This was a duck plush, sold for $18. Disney Toy Story Woody doll sold for $22.45. Ravensburger What If puzzle. We just recently finished this, well, January. It was a difficult puzzle because the cover of the box of the puzzle is one scene of like what they wanted the scene to be, but the actual puzzle was totally different on what actually happened. Of course, it was a comedy of errors almost, but it was a very difficult puzzle. Finally sold it though for $15.
It was a fun puzzle, y'all.
It was difficult. He's working on one. You can hear me say, he's working on one right now that just, again, looks very unpleasant.
Just like you're at it, too.
All right, these have been listed over a year. Finally got a $50 offer on them. They are from Lifetime Cutlery. They were clear, loose side handled flatware, not complete, had some serving pieces. Had some damage, but finally sold. All right, Heidi Ott doll, 18-inch size, sold for $20. La La Loopsy, little mini figures, they're 2.5 inches tall, sold for $17.95. Gunned White Rabbit from 1982 sold for $17.95. Precious Moments Charlie Bear plush sold for $15.25. Disney Pixar Cars figure lot sold for $17.95. Ceramic duck decoy figures sold for $29.95. And the best sell in my store, my eBay store, and it was a very, very quick sell, was this Galoob baby face doll. I just picked it up recently at an estate sale. I want to say they charged me $5, but it could have been $10. The prices were little stickers, and the stickers were coming off, and we ended up spending $200 at this sale. I talked about this in the last video. I've already sold the kitty kitten for $210. I sold one of the compacts for $200. And then here's one of the dolls that I picked up at the half price day. No, the 25% off day, and she sold for $80. And then for Robert's store, quite a few sales on eBay. He did have this Poshmark sale of an Old Navy women's shorts, sold for $13. But y'all, he had his first sale on Depop, and he sold this. It's supposed to be Circus Soleil. It cuts your titles off. Circus Soleil women's top. Look, look. How did that even sell?
That thing sold in less than a week.
Maybe I need to misspell.
I need to misspell everything, y'all.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how his one title down here in the middle compares to that title up there. But this is Robert's business, and Robert does what Robert wants to do with this business. But we've got our first Depop sale and sold for $30. I have since then started Depop also. I think I've got like 15 items on there. I haven't even seen any interest in anything. I've not had any. You know what? Is it going to me? What address is it going to?
To you.
Okay. I haven't seen anything on anything that I've listed for Depop. So Cabela's men's denim jeans sold for $17.71. Riders by Lee women's jeans. Oh, they sell. It is just crazy. $16. I think those sold because they were 14 long. We seem to do really well with these extra long pairs of pants.
Oh, I got a pair that I listed now. I can't remember what brand, Hollister or something.
I think it was Hollister.
But they look like some lady in stilts would be wearing these because they're small, but dang, they're long.
Yep. Karen Scott women's sweater sold for $15.01. Tommy Hilfiger men's shorts, that's 2 pairs of shorts, sold for $11.41. I guess it's warm somewhere, right? Talbot's women's petite jeans, $17.71. These aren't coming back. Are these the ones coming back?
I don't know.
We're having a heck of a time with returns on women's clothes. These might be the ones coming back.
The ladies' clothes might go into the no returns accepted. Y'all can't send these back.
Mm-hmm. And then what's going to happen? You're going to get the item not as described so that you have to take them back.
Still not taking it back.
All right. Michael Kors women's pullover top sold for $14.50. Wrangler men's cargo pants sold for $15. Paolo Gucci women's silk blazer sold for $16.42. Bill Blass maxi women's denim skirt. Y'all, modesty skirts. Definitely keep your eyes out for them. They tend to sell very well for us. $16.50. Old Navy women's jeans sold for $14.85. Lucky Brand dungaree women's jeans sold for $13.07. But the best sell of that entire week goes to Robert with this item.
You get an assist on that because you
I
picked
get an
it out.
assist, yes. I found this at an estate sale. It stayed here forever. I mean, we literally just listed this in January and it's sold already. But it was a St. John evening blazer tank skirt set. I paid $20 for the whole set and it sold for $175. All right. The painful continuation of poor sales continues at this point. Hopefully it's March. We're past the worst month of the year for us historically. So fingers crossed, I'm going to start seeing an increase in sales. Hopefully even more sales on the other platforms. And let's get back to just normal. I'd prefer a lot of normal. Look, I'm seeing. Y'all, can you tell I've been working on smalls? I've got piles of Scooby-Doo and action heroes and Disney and Star Wars just piled up over there. Pick them up, take pictures. So been busy this week. Not today so much, but been busy. Plan on getting back to it. Just get a bunch of stuff, y'all. Even when sales are slow, this is the time of year you should be, first and foremost, getting your tax stuff together. Second of all, getting through some of your profit pile stuff. And if you haven't done a recent inventory, do an inventory. And cross list. All right, y'all. It's time to get to work. Or not. Bye.